Welcome to our deep dive, everyone. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're at Färjestad racetrack.
That's right. And Färjestad, it's an interesting one. It's known for being super fast, right? But the the thing everyone talks about is that really short home stretch, only 177 meters.
Well, that's short.
It massively favors the horse that gets to the lead, the Spets horse, as they say, hold the lead, and it's hard to get caught.
Okay, so position is everything. Right, let's kick off with V75-1, Class 2. Looks like the strong consensus favorite is 3 Melby Mowgli.
Yep, he's the one everyone's pointing to.
Good form early in his career, perfect post position it seems. What makes him stand out so much?
Well, it's that combo, like you said. The post is great, and then there's one of those equipment tweaks we just talked about. He's ditching the heavier iron shoes.
Oh, okay.
And going for lighter aluminum ones. That weight difference, it might seem small, but it can give a real kick, especially in acceleration down the stretch. Think last 500 meters.
Okay. But hold on, this isn't a one-horse race, right? Looking at the field, there are some serious challengers here.
Oh, definitely.
You've got Fort Taylor Hill, top driver, Bjorn Goop is up, and running Barfoda that's barefoot on the front hooves.
Correct. That's another speed factor.
And then there's 2 Alberti Wine, looks perfectly placed in post 2 to get a sweet trip, maybe sit right behind the leader in the pocket. So are we maybe putting too much stock in just one equipment change for the favorite when the field has this much quality?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? That's the tension. Melby Mowgli, with that shoe change, is the likely leader, sure. But you can't ignore the others, like 6 Macbeth BR.
Right, the Norwegian horse.
Yeah, he's a real grinder. Tough as nails. Last time out in a V75, he was stuck in the dead man's position, outside the leader, doing all the hard work, and he held up incredibly well. That kind of toughness that travels.
Okay, that's a serious contender then. Now, what about a long shot? Something high risk, high reward for our deep dive here.
Well, despite drawing that awful post 8, keep an eye on 8. Kiss my ID.
This must stay. Ouch.
Yeah, it's bad. But this horse has shown really, really fast starting speed. And look at the win rate, 50%. Plus, you've got Urgent Kihlstrom driving.
Okay, top driver factor.
Exactly. If, and it's a big if, Kihlstrom can somehow navigate that start, get away clean, find a decent spot quickly, that horse and driver combo, given the underlying ability, very, very interesting at potentially long odds.
All right, shifting gears now. V75-2, it's Class 3, but crucially, it's a sprint. 1,640 meters auto start.
Big change in dynamics.
The favorite here is 3 Doo. Clearly a classy horse, right? Almost made the Derby last year. But there's a huge question mark.
The layoff.
Exactly. A long time off since May because of soundness issues, apparently.
Yeah.
So why is this horse still getting like 45% of the backing? That feels high, given the fitness concern.
It absolutely is the key point that makes this race super volatile. Talent, yes, loads of it. Race fitness after months off, that's a massive unknown. The stable sounds positive, sure, but yeah, 45% backing feels shaky.
Especially compared to others with recent form.
Exactly. Like 5 Melby, maybe? Really impressive last time out. Won despite doing all the heavy lifting in the dead man's position again. Showed real power. Good starting spot, too.
Okay, so Melby maybe is the solid alternative. Now, sprints, they often favor horses that can just keep hammering away at a hard pace, right? Which brings us to maybe a really interesting long shot. 6 Modric.
Ah, Modric, yes.
This horse is known for being tough. A grinder, just keeps going, even when working hard outside the leader. But what makes him interesting specifically for this sprint distance?
It's another one of those big equipment changes we flagged earlier. He's going Barfoda Runtum.
Barefoot all around.
All 4 hooves, yes. First time doing that in Sweden. Over a sprint distance, that's basically pushing all your chips in for maximum speed and acceleration. You're sacrificing maybe some durability for raw velocity.
So the thinking is his natural toughness plus this extra gear from going barefoot.
Precisely. If the favorite, Doo, isn't quite sharp enough after the layoff, or if the pace gets taxing, Modric's strength, combined with that barefoot boost, could let him grind out a win where maybe he'd lack that top-end sprint speed otherwise. He's built for that relentless pace. Very interesting angle.
Okay, on to the main event. V753, the gold division.
Yeah.
Uno Swedes Minislav. And this looks like where we find our strongest shout for a banker, maybe. 1 Stens Ruben.
Yeah, the consensus here is pretty overwhelming. It's all about Spets Ox Slut led from start to finish.
His gate speed is just electric, right?
Blazing fast makes it highly, highly probable he holds that rail from post 1, and then you factor in that short Färjestad stretch. If he gets to the front and dictates the pace, honestly, he looks very, very hard to beat.
Wait a minute. We did mention earlier that post 1 at Färjestad can be a bit tricky sometimes. Is this Spets assumption maybe a bit too strong? Or is Stens-Ruben just that good out of the gate?
I think the analysis suggests he really is that dominant from the start. His ability to accelerate is just exceptional. He seems like the one horse who can pretty much guarantee getting that inside position, overcoming any potential stickiness of post 1.
Okay, fair enough. So if he's the likely leader, who are the main threats, seems like they fall into two camps.
Exactly. You've got your passive threat and your active threat.
Let's start passive. That's 10 Kentucky River, huge capacity, won the Oslo Grand Prix.
Yep, highest ceiling in the race, arguably. But the stable's been quite open, saying this is more of a prep run for the UAT final. They're planning to drive him, conservatively, passively.
So he needs chaos up front.
Pretty much. He needs Stens-Ruben or someone else to set a ridiculously fast pace, burn themselves out a bit for him to have a shot at closing from the back.
Yep.
Seems unlikely he'll get that set up.
Okay, so who's the active threat then? The one likely to take the fight to Stens-Ruben?
That would almost certainly be 11 Hades de Vandal. He's the opposite of Kentucky River in terms of tactics here. Strong, tough, very capable of marching up and sitting in that dead man's position and really putting sustained pressure on the leader.
So he's the one who might try and soften Stens-Ruben up.
If anyone can, it's him. He won't shy away from the hard work.
All right. And for a bit of value, maybe? Anyone lurking?
Definitely keep an eye on 5 Coca-Cola. He was a Derby finalist. He's been racing really well against tough horses recently, but he's floating around at quite low percentages, maybe 5-7%.
Okay, so under the radar.
Yeah, he's got a really strong finish. If, say, Hades de Vandal does manage to wear down Stens-Ruben a bit, Coca-Cola is exactly the type who could benefit and sweep past late. Could be a nice price. Right, next up is V75 for the Union Scampen. This is for the call-blood, the cold-blooded trotters. Different breed entirely. Think raw strength, stamina, not quite the explosive speed of the others.
And this race looks pretty sewn up, doesn't it? It seems like a two-horse show between the Jomsland stable stars.
Absolutely. It's basically 3 Tengen Bork versus 5 Brenna Borken. The analysis suggests they could be like 40 or 50 meters clear of the rest of the field. It's their race to lose.
Okay, a classic stable duel then. Tangenborg probably gets the lead from post 3.
That's the expectation, yeah. His draw gives him the edge early.
But Brenna Borken, he's the world record holder, right? Maybe slightly better suited to this 2,140-meter distance. Showed incredible power recently, even won after making a gallop.
He's a monster, no doubt. And that's the puzzle for anyone betting this race. It's an internal stable battle. Reports even suggest the stable itself isn't entirely sure who's stronger on the day.
So does Kangenborg's positional advantage with the lead on that short stretch win out? Or does Brenna Borken's sheer raw power overcome the tougher trip?
That's the debate. Most agree they're just so much better than the others that they won't let anyone else into the race. They'll likely have their own private duel in the last 400, 500 meters.
We should probably mention one Monlake AM who actually won this race last year.
Good horse, good recent form too, but likely overbet based on that history.
And maybe 9 Stemnofear. He pulled off a shock win in this race before.
True, he has the capacity to surprise if something goes drastically wrong with the 2 favorites. But realistically, yeah, it feels like they're racing for 3rd place unless both Borkens have a really bad day.
Okay, V75-5 takes us over a proper long distance, 2,640 meters. The favorite looks clear. 5. Follow him.
Yep, showing really strong form. Seems to be improving under the Maria Turnfist stable. Got good gate speed too, and he's proven he handles the distance. Ticks a lot of boxes.
But this race, Class Rated, looks really deep. Very high quality field overall.
Exceptionally high quality. It's why a lot of the experts are suggesting, maybe spread the risk a bit on your tickets here. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Makes sense. So who are the key challengers to follow him?
Well, definitely 11 Caspian Bro.
Yeah.
Showed really good form in the Derby qualifiers, and this longer 2,640-meter trip seems right up his alley. He loves the distance. And also 3 NASDAQ Newport. He's quick out of the gate, comes in with good form, and could be interesting value, maybe slightly overlooked at the odds.
Right. And with these long-distance races, sometimes it's about sheer grit, the ability to overcome a bad trip. That brings horses with maybe bad post, but high capacity into play.
Absolutely. Stamina and toughness become huge factors, which makes 8 R Broad quite interesting.
Another one from post 8.
Yeah, the dreaded post 8 again. But look, this horse has won his last 2 races and apparently had pretty tough trips in both. That shows real engine, real underlying strength. If he gets any kind of luck early on, he could be a major player despite the draw.
Any others like that? Maybe needing luck, but having the ability.
Maybe one Monsieur Chocolat. Good finisher, should like the distance. It's his first start for the Wallen stable, which adds a little intrigue. Worth considering if you're looking wider. Okay, now for a real test of stamina. V75-6, it's the bronze-silver division combined, over a marathon 3,040 meters, and it's a volt start.
And the favorite here is 5 High 5 DK. Looked impressive winning on debut for Christopher Eriksson. Handled the distance well then. But position 5 in a volt start, that sounds tricky.
It is tricky. And that's not the only challenge. He's starting on the front line, but there are some really tough, proven stayers starting 20 meters behind him on the handicap.
The handicap horses. So is that a big structural risk for the favorite, facing seasoned marathon runners, giving them a head start?
It's a massive risk, yeah. High 5 DK might be talented, but those horses on the 20-meter handicap are veterans specifically built for this kind of grueling 3-lap race. You really have to focus on them.
Like who? Who stands out from that 20-meter group?
Well, 9 Sendoken is in excellent form, known for a powerful finish over these long trips. Then you have 14 Pingus. He's one of Norway's best stayers. Really tough. Expectations are he might be driven a bit defensively, but the capacity is huge.
Okay.
And 13 Pingus is another one known for finishing strongly and liking the long distance. Those 3 from the handicap look like the main dangers.
What about from the front line, besides the favorite? Anyone who could maybe steal it if they get the perfect trip? A high-risk idea?
Maybe one Gordini Brick. From post 1 in a volt start, the goal has to be grab the lead immediately. That's where he's most effective. If he manages that and dictates a moderate pace, maybe, just maybe, he could hold off the closers from the handicap. It's a long shot play, but the scenario exists.
Anyone else worth a mention?
Perhaps 10 Heracliset. Redden, stable horse, good form despite a bit of a layoff. You can usually rely on him for a strong finish, even if he doesn't win.
Right, the finale. V75-7, the Diamond Stoet for the mares. Back to a sprint, 1,640 meters. And the consensus pick seems to be 4 Nilla Lane.
Yeah, she's seen as the fastest starter among the main contenders. Getting the lead early on this short Färjestad track is, as we've said, absolutely critical. So that speed gives her a big edge.
Critical, yes.
Yeah.
But I saw notes about her last race being quite poor. Something about sickness or a throat issue.
That's the major caveat, exactly. The stable says she's fine now, back on form, but you have to factor that in, right? When a horse is carrying that much public support, any recent blip due to health is a worry. How sharp will she really be?
That uncertainty definitely opens the door for challengers, especially if they also have early speed, like 7 Grace's Bird.
Precisely. Grace's Bird is also very quick off the mark. She looked like a sure winner last time out before she suddenly went off stride, made a gallop near the finish.
Costly mistake.
Very. But it shows the speed is there. So if Nilla Lane is maybe just a fraction cautious because of the recent illness, or she simply doesn't manage to hold the lead from the start, Grace's Bird could be right there, poised to take over. Makes her extremely dangerous.
Okay, so a speed duel potential. What about class? Anyone dropping down who could just outmuscle them?
Well, that brings 5 Maharina Sun into the picture. She's been competing against much tougher horses, raced in the European Championship for mares, things like that.
Wow, okay. Big step down in class here then.
Huge step down. She might not have the absolute blistering gate speed of the other 2, but she's almost guaranteed a good position just behind the leaders because of her quality. And she possesses the class and the finishing kick to potentially run them down late, regardless of how the early pace battle unfolds. Serious threat.
Any really deep long shots here? Post 12, maybe?
12 Dilvachet. Gochidora trained. High capacity, definitely has the merit on paper. But post 12, over 1,640 meters on a fast track like Färjestad.
Sounds almost impossible.
It's incredibly difficult. She would need absolute maximum pace up front, like a suicidal speed duel between Nilla Lane and Grace's Bird, and a lot of luck finding a path through just to even get into the frame.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely, but the raw talent is there.
Fascinating stuff. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the Färjestad V75. We hope digging into all these angles from the sources helps you navigate the day.